Hey guys, Long Haul Larry, Big Blue. We are actually down here in Pacific, Missouri. And we got loaded up, was going town. I got a really bad headache last night on the way down from Plover. So I pulled over, got some ice, put it on my neck. Took some aspirin, and I was able to go to sleep for a while and stuff. So I did an 8-hour sleepover. So now I'm doing a split sleepover. And I just ran it on down through Illinois. I really didn't record anything. But I got down here in Pacific. I got to do a 2-hour break. And it's middle of the night, so fuel pumps are pretty much empty. And I'm going to steal their light. So I have to do this by flashlight. But I have not replaced the hose yet on this APU. I've been carrying it around with me, and I need to get this done. So I'd much rather be running this APU than run the truck. So there's the hose. So we're just gonna change it out quick. And I know some of you guys are gonna say, "Oh, I don't use your DeWalt, your DeWalt stuff." Yeah, I could get two screws out with the DeWalt. These two right here. But this one here, I don't even have to pull it all the way out. This one here broke. I don't know what happened to it. I know what happened to it. You can see these nicks. That's from the trailer when you turn real tight. It comes around, and I think if it's pinched, if it's wedged, it gets caught here. But this broke because the hose blew, and it actually bent this up. It's bent on this cover. Down here you can't get a drill in there. Well guys, here we go. We got our cover off. Just 2 screws on the side. There's 2 screws that I just loosen up, and then there's supposed to be 2 screws in here, but this one here blew apart. What happened is I was running the APU, and then it sounded like a tire blew. That's what it sounded like. And here you guys can see this tire that I'm talking about. I've been saying that these tires, you know, a lot of shaking and stuff. It's still within DOT. It's not below, but it's just terrible. I guess the boss had to order some tires or something. I don't know. But you can see that tire. You can see what's going on there. But I was sitting on here and I thought a tire blew, so I shut the APU off quick. And I looked out my window. I saw this white cloud come out. And I had said I didn't have no tools with me. And I told the boss about it when I was out there, and he had taken it to a Thermo King place and had him look at it. And I told him, I said, I don't know if the radiator blew up or what. And he said that they told him that the radiator had a slight leak, but they didn't have another radiator, so they couldn't change it. And then we were going to take it to another place to have them do it, and I decided, you know what, I have my tools back in here. I thought, I'm going to look at it. And I pulled it apart. There you go. This hose just blew to pieces. I mean, what's up with that shop? I mean, how could they even say that the radiator had a slight leak? Because the antifreeze is shut off in the truck. So they couldn't even test it. So, I mean, they couldn't even test it. How could they test it? Because if they would have turned the antifreeze on and the valves up in the truck, the antifreeze would have just poured out of here. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. So we're just going to change out this hose, and then we'll bleed it off, get antifreeze to the system again, fire the APU up, check it out. There we go. There is our slight leak in our radiator. There we go. Make sure there's no twists in it or nothing.
There we go. Easy as that. So now I just now bleed the lines out. So I gotta open up my hood, and I'm just gonna crack this valve right here. Just like so. That was almost an accident right there. Tight up there. Alright, I'll just open up my valves. And you can see it's already bleeding out. Now we just need to fire this thing up. Check the oil first. Oil's good. Flip on the button and I'll go up inside and turn it on. This run for a while, and I'll have to refill the coolant because it's going to pull coolant and fill radiator and everything else. Probably already getting a little low. Yeah, it's been dropping. Yeah, it's pulling coolant in because the coolant was like up here. I opened that up, I saw it drop down. So it's pulling coolant all into the lines. But guys, I've noticed another problem. I was worried about the alternator because when you run it, it wasn't working great. It wasn't cooling so great and everything else. And yeah, wasn't working. It wasn't cooling the best. And also when it would run, the low voltage indicator would come on. And as I was just running, I could hear like a squeak noise. And I decided to look at this, and the belt is like paper thin. I saw the belt wasn't even moving hardly. It was barely just kind of slowly turning. And that was keeping the air compressor from spinning to provide cool, and also probably keeping the alternator from turning. So I'm gonna need a new belt. The belt is gone on this thing. So I shut it back off, and the coolant's good. I don't see any leaks there. And I'll stop someplace today or something like that and get a new belt for it. Put a new belt on it, and when I pull that out, I have to pull the bottom cover off to change the belt. Then I'll check that alternator, maybe see if the bearing's gone in the alternator, it's not turning, that's why I tore the belt up. Or it's the air compressor. Or just the belt got loose and she just tore itself up. So I'm gonna put this back together and go find a place to park.
Hey guys,
We are getting ready to go here. It is July 17th, 2019. You guys saw that I put that hose on there and then found the belt was all messed up. I'm in Springfield, and at the Thermo King place I just picked up a new belt. New belt is $31.59. So it's not too bad. Pretty good price for a belt. I thought it'd be more than that. I talked to the guy because the belt is like paper thin. And I talked to the guy in here and asked him, I says, you know, should, you know, in your past experience when a belt wears like that, I mean, because I've never seen that. I've seen, you know, I've just never seen it like paper thin like that. And I said, is that usually like an alternator, like the bearing, you know, is like the alternator is kind of seizing up and it's dragging on the belt, wearing it down, or is it the AC clutch, maybe the bearing in that is going out or something? Because, you know, it does squeal a little bit, the AC bearing, but it's still working. And he asked me, he said, hey, he goes, did you run this thing during the winter? And I said, no, I don't do that. I says, it provides AC and power. And I said, in the wintertime, I don't need AC. And I can park my truck and do whatever I want to do with power. I never drain the batteries down or nothing, so I just never run APU. And he said, that's your problem right there. He said what happens is they glaze. The belts will glaze over when they're not used. And he says, and then they slip. He says, it doesn't matter, because I told him, I'm like, I have it tight. I mean, you guys have seen me on my videos actually tighten my belt and stuff. So you hear it squeaking, so I tighten it. And, you know, so I keep it tight, and it's tight now. And he's like, it doesn't matter how tight you do it. He says, if you let it sit all winter like that, the belt will actually glaze over. And he says, it doesn't matter how tight it is, it'll slip. And it wears like that. It gets real papery thin and stuff, and then finally it snaps. And he goes, I don't doubt you have anything else wrong. He goes, it's probably just that the belt's been sitting all winter long and no use on it, so it glazed. And he told me that they actually, APUs that they service regularly for companies around here that they have in here and do regular service maintenance on them and stuff. He says, to tell you the truth, he goes, they actually will replace a belt almost every year. He said it's pretty common. So, if you're having that problem, I mean, it's only 31 bucks. You know, it's just a bolt to loosen up the alternator, slide the alternator forward, and just take the belt off and change it around. So, not too big of a deal. So, we'll end up doing that later, probably down in Texas. I'm just going to run it on down there and get down there. And it'll be in the middle of the night, so it'll be in the dark, and I won't have to deal with the heat and everything working outside on it and stuff. So I'll see you guys there. Well, I don't think I'm going to bother you guys with taking the plate off, but as you can see here, there's 2 screws here on the front. There's 2 screws on the side, on each side. That whole bottom cover drops off, and then you can get to the belt. So we're going to change this belt out. Right here is the belt. The belt number is 781634, and this was thinking off the top of my head, I think $31 it cost. So let's get this APU working. Alright guys, we got the cover off. We're down here. Right here is our belt. I don't know how good you're going to see this or not, but I mean, it's paper thin. You can see the ribs actually coming through on the inside here. It's like nothing to it. I mean, it's just nothing left of it whatsoever. And what happens is, this is the flywheel right here, and it's spinning real fast. You know, the engine's running, the spindle is spinning fast. But then when I looked down through the cover, I saw this belt was even hardly moving. And they say that's because it gets glazed or whatever, and it just wears it right down. So to remove this, it's pretty easy. Sorry about the movement there. There's a bolt right here. It's right here. And it was an 11/16. It might be metric too. I think it is metric, but 11/16 wrench will work on it. And basically you just loosen this bolt. That's what the main mounting bolt for the alternator. So you loosen that up just a little bit. And I don't know what I did with it. Here it is. And so you can just go right up underneath here.
Just put it on there, give her a couple cranks. You don't need to take it all the way out, just loosen it. You just need the alternator to be able to roll, to rotate. So I've already loosened it because I didn't know how tight it was going to be. And then the other bolt is right here. This is your adjustment to adjust your belt tension here. So we need to loosen this one up. And again, I think it's metric, but a 1/2 inch will work. I forgot some of my wrenches, so I don't have all my metrics. Little tip. That's a pretty tight one there. If you have a wrench on there like that, you can actually put another wrench on here like this. Gives you twice the leverage, and then you can loosen it. And once you get it loosened, then you'll be able to do it. I think the wind is going to be a killer. Pretty windy here today. You can see already it's already moving. There we go. So you need to slide that forward, and then see, then the belt just can come off. This goes off of there, goes off the flywheel, off the compressor. And we're going to spin this to see. Okay, that's good. That's spinning free. And the alternator's spinning free too. So I'm going to say that it was just from sitting all winter long, like the guy was talking about. And so this is probably a pretty common maintenance. I mean, $31 for a new belt, that ain't no big deal. So we'll just pop the new belt on there and let her go. I mean, it's just flimsy. I mean, there's nothing left of it. It's just like paper. It's crazy. Here's the new belt. And see, I can't even fold that over. See, I can't even fold this one over. That's how much difference there is. So we'll just put it up over the top of the flywheel here. Don't have my safety glasses with me and getting stuff dropped in my face. There we go. Make sure it's all in the right grooves. What I gotta do is just give her a little spin. Just make sure it's lined up in the right grooves. That JB Hunt, pull right in there. You'll run me over. Then to tighten it back up, you just push on it here. I carry these little bars with me. They got a little hook on them. Really nice. And you can just put that in there. Put it on there. Usually with belts like this, you want, you know, about a 1/2 inch to a 3/4 inch plate like that. That's going to be good right there. Nice and tight. That's going to be good. And then you just go in the reverse, tighten this one up. Check it over again. Go. So we just tighten that top bolt back up. I'm going to try to protect you guys from the wind and stuff because it's really windy out here. You can see right down there is where the belt is that I just replaced. So you can hear the fuel primer going. I haven't seen any leaks. I've had coolant on all the way down here and stuff. No leaks coming out or no coolant coming out of there, so I think we're good on the leaks. My coolant level stayed good since I filled it. There we go. Now it's spinning nice and fast. The other day when I did this, I was barely even spinning. The belt was barely even moving, but if I was spinning as fast as that belt was. So we can see our APU is running. Lights all just shut out. That does that after it's running for a little bit. The lights will shut off. I think it's cabin lights or whatever. But it is running. And we're getting cool air coming in here, good. But no red triangle, so it wasn't the alternator, it was just a belt. There, you can just hear my
condenser kick in. You can hear the cold air whistling. She's blowing good. I can feel it on my feet. Well, there we go, guys. We got our APU fixed. No more leaks. And yeah, I know I got a hearing problem here. I was sleeping down here and I got unloaded, and I figured I'm gonna, before I go anywhere, I'm gonna try to fix this APU up quick so we can start saving some money, stop idling this truck. But the air is blowing good in here. I had the truck off the whole time, so it's a little hot in here. It's 99 degrees or something like that here. So so we got the hose put on there, so that took care of that leak. The radiator, I do not see a leak anyplace on the radiator, so I think we're good there. And now we got that belt changed. Alternator's working good, and it's cooling good cold air. I did notice that before I got that little triangle, that was telling me that the alternator was my low voltage cutoff was kicking off in my truck whenever I would run the APU, so the APU wasn't charging. And before that, it would not really blow cold air very well. It just didn't keep up. It was real weak cold air. The reason why is because that belt was slipping like that because it had that glaze on it, so it was slipping on the AC clutch. It wasn't actually turning it over. Now it's going to be turning over good. We got good cold air blowing. I can feel it coming out like crazy. Stuff's blowing all around in here. It's really going good. So I will catch you guys later. I need to go in this place and use their bathroom, get my hands all washed up, wipe a little of the sweat off. It was warm out there laying on concrete. So I hope everyone out there is having themselves a great day, great night when you're watching this here video. And if you're not, we certainly could change that all around and try it all over again tomorrow. I will catch you guys later. See ya.